Hi, I'm Kelly from Feeling Yum, and I'm an occupational therapist who helps share recipes that you can adapt for younger eaters and also different dietary needs. And this is...
Hello, I'm Adaya, and I'm Kelly's stepdaughter. I'm 12 and I'll be helping prepare the food today.
So we're going to be making some delicious chocolate recipes today that you can bring to Valentine's Day or a gift because they're more indulgent, and also it's a good way to encourage kids to try some new foods with some chocolate. So are you ready?
Yes!
Okay, let's get to it. So today we're going to be making some gluten-free buckwheat pancakes, and then we're going to be making a chocolate hazelnut butter that kind of tastes like Nutella, and then we'll be serving it with some berries. And stay tuned till the end because then we're going to also show a chocolate activity that you can do with kids. So for the ingredients for today, we're going to need 4 eggs, we'll need some olive oil, buckwheat, salt, sugar, and then for the hazelnut butter, we'll need hazelnut, some maple syrup, some salt, some vanilla, and then some chocolate chips, and then we'll have some strawberries and some extra berries. So, Adaya, do you know what a sous chef is?
I do not.
So it's someone who helps prepare the food. So I'll kind of tell you what to do, but then you can help ingredients in together. So first we're gonna put in 2 cups of water.
So just all of that?
Yeah, you can pour it all in. So do you know what crêpes are, Adaya?
They're a French pancake, right?
Yeah, so they're like pancakes. And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Pancakes.
Yeah, so it's a different kind of pancake. So now we're gonna crack 4 eggs, and you can put them in here, so in case any shells break. Yeah, so what makes them different from a regular pancake?
They're thinner.
Yeah, they're thinner. And it's just like a different style. So Adaya too is learning how to expand what foods she's trying to eat, just like most kids. So it's good to try things that are similar but a little bit different. That's the 4th one. Good job. So that's the fun part because you can wipe your hands because it's a fun gooey texture, so kids like helping with eggs. Okay, you can pour all that into the blender. There we go. Egg water. And then we're gonna put 1/4 cup of olive oil. So you can fill to this line here. Okay. So also these are fun to use because with the squeeze bottle, it's called, because then they just won't all pour out all at once. So when she's helping, definitely helps from that just overfilling. So you can lift it up too to see where you're at. Almost there. Okay, perfect. So you can pour that in. And get the flour ready. So usually you're used to white flour. Have you ever had buckwheat flour or heard of it before?
I haven't heard of that.
So I'm gonna fill that up. So they're buckwheat groats, so they're just all ground up. But the great thing about buckwheat is they're the type of grain it is, it's naturally gluten-free, and so you can just help level that off. That's okay. We'll clean up messes later. Yeah, that was perfect. And then 1/4. They're naturally gluten-free, like I said, and also they're a full protein too. So it's a great flour. To use for higher protein. Go ahead and put that in. And also, I got this recipe from Aran Goyoaga. I'll put her book and her name, I don't want to say it wrong for her, but she has great gluten-free recipes, especially with breads and things like that. So now you're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of this. That's where the buckwheat crepe recipe is from. Yes, and then we can put 1 tablespoon of sugar. There you go.
Okay. Sugar looks like salt.
Yeah. Those aren't good to mix up. Good thing we're looking at our bag and making sure we're doing the right measurements and not doing more salt than sugar. Okay, so that's all we have to do. So we're just gonna put the lid on and blend it up for 30 seconds. And then the batter will be ready to go. Yeah, it can go on the sides too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like that. And then you can just turn it
To 8.
Okay, so that should be good. It looks well mixed. So we're gonna take the lid off and then Adaya can help pour it in here. Yes. So after we make the batter, Adaya, what's the first thing we do for pancakes? How do we make them?
You pour them in a pan and you heat them up.
Yep. So same thing with crepes. We'll use a nonstick pan, heat it up. You can use a vegan butter, or you can use, now we can get some saran wrap, or you can use an oil. And the main thing is that's different is you're gonna spread the pan out, and so it spreads out a lot more. And then when do we usually flip our pancakes?
A couple minutes.
Yeah, but what sign do you look for?
Oh, when they turn a little brown.
Brown and like little like bubbles kind of, right?
Yeah.
Start to happen. So you'll see the same thing with crepes and then you'll flip them. So we refrigerated the batter overnight. So because then it's a little crispier. Also, it's good food prep. And then we'll show you the finished product. So I'm gonna go put this in the fridge. Okay, so now we're back. I'll show you what the crepes look like. So they're a little darker because of the buckwheat, but they look like that. They have the little holes. I make them a little bit smaller because when you make them really big, then it gets a little harder to flip and everything like that. So we can use that in a little bit we can spread our hazelnut butter on them. So now we're gonna make the chocolate hazelnut spread. So do you like Nutella?
I love Nutella.
Yes. Oh yeah, and you like dipping what in them?
Little breadstick things?
Yeah. So they're good on like any kind of sticks or, yeah, like pancakes or breads. So did you know what nut was in Nutella?
No.
So you know what these are?
No.
I've said it a few times. So they're called hazelnuts. So this is the fun reason to make things at home, because then you learn it's not just from a jar, but you learn so you can give them a smell. Smell good?
Yes.
Okay, so this is about 2 cups. We're gonna put these in the food processor, so you can pour those in.
Okay.
And so we sprouted these beforehand and we roasted them, and we try to get most of the skins off. So we'll show a link where you can see a post on how to sprout nuts if you want to do that. I like it because it makes the nut butter is really nice and thin and not so thick. And also it has dietary benefits, so it makes nuts easier to digest too once you do that sprouting process. And so after we do our hazelnuts, we're gonna drizzle in some oil. So you can put 2 tablespoons. Yeah, spread that in.
Okay. Where do I put it after?
We'll put everything in the food processor once you measure it out.
Okay.
I'll put it closer to us. Like that. So you can use coconut oil too. I just like olive oil because all the saturated fat in coconut oil, I don't personally do well with, but it tastes great and sweet. So if you're fine with it, coconut oil is great for sweet recipes, but olive oil is a good alternative. And depending what you have on hand, you could even use avocado oil because it's so neutral tasting. There we go. Yes. Yes. Okay, so now we're gonna do some maple syrup. So, let me give it a smell. So used. So we're going to put about a tablespoon of that. So that one pours a little quicker, so just hold it steady.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got, this one's really good if you want to take a look at it while you're pouring. I'll show them. It's called Tree Juice Maple Syrup, so it is pretty fresh. And I found it at a local store here, Rye Goods it's called. They have a lot of good products. So that's our maple syrup. So now we're going to put some vanilla. This one I always love to smell. So you can use, yeah. So you can use vanilla extract, but this one has some of the beans inside. It's a paste. And you can do about a teaspoon, but it's okay if you don't get all of it because this is, doesn't have to fill the whole spoon, because if you're using this stuff, it's more, the flavors are more strong than the extract.
That looks good?
Yeah, that looks good. You can pour that in. And I'll show this brand too. It's a brand from Hawaii, and you can order it on Amazon. I heard them interview once. It's a woman-owned company, and they make they make a really good bean paste, and I order their vanilla extract as well. Okay, and then some flaky sea salt too. So this one, how does it look different from our other salt we were using?
It looks a little clumpier.
Yeah, so they're definitely like larger pieces. So they're fun like in chocolate or desserts because you get more of a texture of the salt. So we can do like half a teaspoon of that.
Okay.
So it's a lot bigger grain. This one is a fleur de sel, and I've ordered this on Amazon too. But I love that kind of salt because it's it has a really, it's not big like a it's not really big flakes. I was trying to say Maldon salt, I think is how you say it, but this one is a little smaller in flakes. Okay, so now we have all our ingredients except the chocolate. So we're gonna add some chocolate now that we do on the stove. And so we're gonna heat up the water, and then we're gonna broil it. So then we're gonna put a bowl on top of the pan, broil it, and then we're gonna stir all the chocolate, and then it will be all melted, and we're gonna add that to here. So I'll show what that looks like.
Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying this very yummy video.
So we can reach more viewers, please be sure to like and subscribe to the video and turn on those notifications.
Now, let's get back to the video.
Okay, so now we're back with the the melted and tempered chocolate, and we're gonna pour that into here. So I'm just gonna, you can help too, trying to grab the spatula.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can help pour.
Oh, the bowl is really hot.
Yeah, that's fine, I'm holding it. Oh, you're trying to hold it here. I'll hold it, so. It's just fresh off the stove.
Get all of that.
Yeah, don't want to skimp on it. What's your favorite kind of chocolate?
Definitely Nutella.
But chocolate, nut butters too? Or, I mean, like, type of chocolate? Dark, milk?
Dark.
Yeah.
Milk comes in second.
Oh, also for this recipe, we're using bittersweet. You can use different kinds, but bittersweet's good for baking. And it's good to get the chocolate chips like Ghirardelli, or this is Gouttiard. I'll put it in the show notes too, what to use. Because I've used different kinds, like when I was out of those type of chips, and they don't always melt the same. So it's good to stay with some safe brands when you're trying to melt the chocolate. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it down. All right, so now we're gonna just mix it all up. The nut butter, when you use this food processor or like a high-speed blender, it is really loud and it needs to be pretty powerful to blend all those nuts. So I'm gonna put this on. Okay, so now it's kind of, you can push down the sides a bit when it starts to get too high. And it takes a bit of a while. It goes through like a process when it's blending.
Scrape, scrape, scrape.
Yes. That was great.
Yeah.
Just push down so it gets on the blades.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's done. I can say it right now. So sometimes when it still looks a little dry, you can add a little extra oil. So I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna pour some in here and start it again, and it just helps it get a little smoother. Okay. So here we go. You can kind of see how it's coming out. So how about we each get a spoon so we can taste some of it more smooth now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can go first. A little bit. So is it, what makes it kind of like Nutella but kind of different?
It tastes like chocolatey, but also at the same time, it's like very nutty. Like you can taste it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely has more nuts because Nutella has a lot more like milk and sugar and things in it.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a lot more nuts. So yeah, so with this we can like get a crepe and you can put some on there. So we made these last night, so I just try to heat them a little bit, but they'll look a little different. Like when they're fresh, they're steamy and warm, and the spread will spread a little softer on there. But we can have that. We can each take a berry with the nut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Can take one here too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that's your spoon, right?
Yeah.
So let's try it on some of the fruit. Go good together?
Yeah.
And it's good to serve nuts with fruits because it keeps kids fuller longer, or adults too, because it has all those fats with the sugary fruit. And then these nut butters aren't too sweet because we only put like a tablespoon of maple syrup and then the sugar and the chocolate. So what's one of your favorite berries, Adaya?
I love strawberries, watermelons, good, green apples.
Yeah, so you could dip any of, well, watermelon would be more interesting. Green apples would definitely taste good. But what is this fruit called?
Black raspberry.
Or a blackberry.
Blackberry, I don't know.
So you can take a taste with the chocolate too, because Adaya goes straight. We all have our preferences, right? So she goes straight to the strawberries, but with a little chocolate, you can take a little bite with the chocolate spread.
Mm-hmm.
Try a little bite of the berry. So it makes it a little easier to try newer foods when there's something yummy with it. And so, what do you think?
Tastes good.
Yeah, so it's a fun way to try new ones. Okay, so that's all of our things. I'll also take a little bite with the crepe here. That's a good snack any time of day. So, and these buckwheat crepes, they're also good with sweet or savory dishes. So they're going to have. So now I'll show you the one last thing we're going to do, a chocolate activity if maybe your kid doesn't eat nuts yet. But I do love to make nut butters because it's a great way to even introduce hazelnuts to kids maybe like a little over a year, because it does have a little sugar with the chocolate, but you can mix it in their foods, and it's a lot easier to introduce pureed nuts other than whole nuts, which can be a choking hazard. So, but if they don't, for another option, it's fun to dip fruits in chocolate. So it's just gonna be the same method that we did for the chocolate, melting the chocolate. So we're just gonna come back with a little fresh bowl of melted chocolate and dip some of the rest of those strawberries and blackberries. Hi, so now we're gonna do our chocolate activity. So we're gonna get our strawberries and we can dip them. Yes. And you like this treat, right, Adaya?
Yes.
So we can taste them even just dipped in the chocolate is fun. Or we can put them on the tray and then we'll have chocolate covered strawberries later. But let's do one where we can just try our fruits dipped inside. Here, you can grab one. Okay. So since you're doing this step for the nut butter anyways, you could keep the bowl out. You have everything ready for the tempered chocolate, and then we can try some fruits. And for Adaya here, the newer fruit, this is her preferred food. But she can also keep practicing trying some blackberries dipped in chocolate, because those are just the ones she's not normally used to eating. But dipped in chocolate tastes good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could put out other fruits if you're working with your kiddo on trying some different fruits. It's always fun to dip them in chocolate. Okay, so we'll do a few more for the tray.
Okay.
So we just tempered this like we did for the nut butter. We're just dipping it, putting it on the pan. Then we're going to chill it in the fridge by like 15 minutes. They're already going to look like this. So they're a great treat that you can have for your house, or if you bring them to anyone, they'll be happy. And it's quick and easy and fun. You have chocolate.
Trying to do this fast so the chocolate doesn't get hard.
Yeah, so that's a tip we learned when we've made them. If you don't go quick enough, the chocolate does harden. Here, you got chocolate on your face.
Oh.
Can do one more at least. So yeah, she's right. We gotta work fast. And you can also temper chocolate in the microwave if you just do it in like short bursts of time, but I've always burned my chocolate that way. So I always just like doing it on the stove. But yeah, we can do the rest of our berries. I've never had a hardened chocolate blackberry.
Me
But
neither.
let's try it. Since we have enough chocolate and we finished all our strawberries. And I also have a fun chocolate fondue set that someone gifted me. And that's been fun working with kids too, because they can use a spear. So if they don't really want to touch the chocolate and get their hands too dirty, you can start out, like using a spear. And that fondue set those are good spears, but you could also use like a cocktail fork or something. But Adaya doesn't seem to mind having chocolate on her fingers. There we go.
Yes.
And you can also dip these if you want to add like a white chocolate drizzle, or you can dip, what are some other things you could dip them in that would be fun, you think, to decorate them?
The chocolate?
Yeah, like these chocolate covered berries.
We could dip them in different kind of chocolate.
But like to decorate them.
Little sprinkles. That would be cool.
Yeah, you could do different kinds of sprinkles. You could do like coconut chips or all sorts of things. Okay, we can wipe our hands.
Or lick them.
Yes, or lick them. Okay, so that's all we have. We finished everything today. So today we learned how to make a gluten-free pancake alternative, a crepe, and a chocolate hazelnut butter. That's a good way to introduce, nut butters are great to introduce older kids to different kinds of nuts, and also your younger ones if they're tasting nuts in a parade form, and then a fun chocolate activity. And also, what did you learn today?
Just some tips and tricks. I mean, I didn't know. I am not really a big baking person, so I learned some new recipes.
Yeah, and also like how to help food prep, right? Because you helped pour everything in and get involved. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!